Welcome back to J&J Dynasty. Let's get going on this video right from the start. All right. Hello, it's Justin once again, and we're going to be going through all of the MFL drafts that I charted. I believe it was 29 in total, and these are going to be the final rankings, early August or August, however you want to do it. But this is throughout the summer how all these guys got rated. All right, so as always, if you like the content, give a thumbs up for the like, right? Or subscribe or leave a comment. And hopefully a few people have left comments, and that's really, made me feel good that people have used this information, and hopefully they've helped make their teams a little bit better. So I don't know, I'm getting really washed out there. Hopefully you can hear me pretty well here. So let's get into this and get going on it. So let's get rid of that. And this is going to be the format. So way over here, up here, that's going to be the name. There's a blue line there. That's May. The white are June, and I condensed them. So I got the first two and the last three of June. Then we've got the yellows. Oh, that way. Yellow, green, and then the red is going to be, yellow is July, green is August. The red is the total ADP for the entire year. So then the white band would correlate to the June. The blue band is May. There's only one team in May draft, or one draft in May, so it's its own ADP. Way to the left, right here. Boom, yeah. Pretty good, huh? That's my Baby Shark impersonation. Baby Shark, shark. At any rate, so that's what it's going to be. So let's just kind of, let's get into it. So this is going to be your first round and the average ADP. So obviously Harrison was number one across the board. It didn't deviate. He was the first pick every time. Neighbors all but was it one or two times was the number two pick overall. Yeah, number two times. So the very first draft, somebody drafted him, got him third. Lucky them. But as you can see, in the red column way over there, that's the total ADP, and then that white column corresponds with the white columns right here. The one yellow column way the heck over there, the big yellow column, and the green column is the ADP for the green column. So you can smash them all together, break it apart, look at the drafts how you want, and that's why I kind of did the smashing the June, the first two and the last two only show, because hopefully that gives a big enough story or tell on that said month. All right, so again, Harrison, Neighbors, Odunze, Jonathan Brooks wound up being the fourth overall, even though he's hurt and he's going to miss the first several weeks of the season. Guys are just running back crazy, looking for a bell cow. Brock Bowers slid in at fifth. I thought it would be Brock Bowers, and truly I thought it'd be Thomas, Worthy and McConkey. Were the next guys, and then Coleman and Brooks and Benson and Daniels after that, but it didn't quite wind up that way. This is how it actually wound up. So as you can see, so Caleb Williams actually did a lot of sliding there. If you can see in August, the little band way the heck over there is saying that he was being drafted in August at 10th overall. Even though training camp has started and training camp is going, and there's nothing but glowing reviews, people just ain't buying it in one quarterback league so far, supposedly. So, and as you can see, his ADP went up way over there, went up every month. In June, he was at 7.4, then 9.3, I believe. Oh, that's the one below. Yeah, 7.8. Oh, no, 7.8 overall, 6.7, and then 8.1, and then 10. The numbers are really tiny on my screen, guys. I apologize. So I'm struggling trying to see that, and I've got the window right here. Maybe I move this a little bit. Maybe that works better, and get some real natural light. But maybe I can see. Maybe I can see a little bit better there. Can actually read some of these numbers. Oh man, there we go. We'll try that. That seems to help a little bit. All right. Now you can see all the wrinkles in my face. Way to go. At any rate, so that's kind of where we're going with that for round one. Missed doing this. So one of my big guys was I'll try and give you the guys who I personally targeted or wanted to target in each round. So other than the big three or Neighbors or Harrison, which only got one share of Neighbors, um, Thomas Jr. is the guy that I was trying to target as much as I could. I wound up getting a bunch of shares of Ladd McConkey, and I did get one share of Brian Thomas Jr. real crazily at pick 12. And actually, you can see it right there in the video. The very first one of him, pick number 12, that was me getting Brian Thomas Jr. in that league. So I was more than happy. I got quite a few shares of Ladd McConkey. I am really disappointed I didn't get a share of Benson because I actually liked Benson more than I liked Brooks, and I liked Jared Wright, almost as good as both of those guys. So I got several shares of Jared Wright, but that's coming up in next video. So going down, I got one share of Caleb Williams, none of Worthy, none of Coleman, none of Benson, and one of Daniels. So that's kind of where I was at with all these guys. But as you can see, their ADP kind of dropped off. There was a big step between Benson and Daniels from 9 to 11. And all the other guys kind of fell in line. 1, 2, 3 was pretty, right there. 4 and 5. Both of them were drafting at 5 point, whatever. And then you had the little step off with Caleb Williams there. All right, well, let's move on to the second round then, right? Boom, boom, boom. Round 2. And did I do it? Okay, there we go. We got round 2. All right, so with that being said, Blake Corum, Ricky Pearsall-Wright, who is the guy that I was targeting a lot. And I actually used my own information to move up in the last couple drafts to get Wright. So I think that I got Wright at 14 in the second last draft in the green there. Or the third last draft, number 14, the one right in the middle of the green. That was me getting him at 14, which was one of the highest spots that he was. I actually traded to get pick 2.4. At any rate, I traded to get 2.4, and then when the guy at 2.2 or 2.3, when the guy was on the clock at 2.2, I moved up from 2.3 to 2.2, gave him 50 blind bid bucks just to be able to get Wright. So I knew that that's where he was going in the recent drafts, and I knew that that's the guy that I wanted, so I wound up getting him. So again, it was Corum, Pearsall, Wright, Lloyd, 80, Mitchell, Leggett, Polk, Burton, Vidal, Sassoon, and Drake May, Snott, and Roman Wilson broke into the second round here and pushed Troy Franklin out barely. But the whole point of the matter is that Roman still wound up making it there, even with the bum ankle. So, and Ben Sinnott, I don't know why guys were drafting him. So personally, I got no shares of Corum, no shares of Pearsall. I got several shares of Wright, no shares of Lloyd, a bunch of shares of 80 Mitchell, one share of Leggett. I had to take him because he was still there at 2.9 in one draft. And I had 9, 10, and 11 is what I had for the draft pick. So, or wound up taking him at 9. Then I had Jalen Polka, got a couple, one share of Burton, none of Vidal Sassoon. I've got one of May, none of Snott, and none of Wilson. So, but that, if you look at the ADP on these guys, they're really kind of like tiers. You got, your first 2 guys, and you got 2 guys, and you got 2 guys at 17, 21 and 22 for 2 guys, 24, 25, 25, and then 26. So, it really doesn't start breaking up there until you get into the 20s. And realistically, the whole way, it was Wilson, Polk, and Burton were like just in a chunk there at the end of the second round, and followed very closely by Troy Franklin, right? So let's get moving on to the next one, round 3, and there we have one Troy Franklin. So Troy wound up being just off the tier, just nipped out by what? Was that 25.5 or is that 26.1? God, I can't even see Roman Wilson's final numbers. But it looks like 26.2 for Troy Franklin. So, I mean, he just got nipped, and then you see J.J. McCarthy, who, by the way, is out for the season, in case you don't know this. He had his knee procedure, and he's done for the 2024 season. Ray Davis, Malachi Corley, and you got Bucky Irving, Baker, Bo Nix, Estime, Estime wound up coming back up, as you can see there in early July when he was on the IR or when he was listed as hurt. His ADP fell quite a bit, and he had a resurgence here in August. So I think that should show that in his numbers. Yeah, was it 27 for August versus 36 in July? That's a pretty big difference. So Luke McCaffrey, Tyrone Tracy, who they erroneously reported that he blew out his knee or broke his leg, but he's fine. He's running around in practice. Braylon Allen is one of the guys who I really missed on because because I wanted to, I don't like his situation. I like the player. He was one of my top 5 running backs before the draft. When he landed with the Jets, I did not like it. Number one, I've got a bunch of shares of Israel. Yeah, so that's going to screw me. But the other thing is that with the NFL draft, I did not want to be drafting him because of Breece Hall. Not because I don't think Braylon Allen's good. I just don't see a ton of opportunity there for him. With Breece Hall, he's probably going to get 80% of the snaps at the running back. That doesn't really mean that Braylon Allen's going to be useful unless Hall gets hurt. And I don't want to hope that Hall gets hurt. So then you got Braylon Allen and Jalen McMillan. So let's do this. I think it's that one. Yeah, Jalen McMillan. So those are the kind of the guys. And McMillan I was trying to like fade just because up until the training camp information. Give me 1 second. Up until the training camp for Tampa Bay, the information where he was coming out being really good. As you can see, his ADP was down in the 40s, and then he got some good pub and he came flying up at the end of July as far as the ADP. And so Jalen McMillan is a guy who I really liked, but I don't know with Baker Mayfield. I don't think that he can be held or carried very well this year. So I was looking to fade him and then pick him up in the middle or to the end of the year at the end of this year and roster him when some guys went on IR and things like that. So that was what I was trying to get done with that. So let's see if I can go backwards one and leave. Okay. Allen, there we go. And we'll go to round 4. And so that was round 3 in that one. So there we go. This should be round 4. So you got Sanders, who was kind of all over the board. He was either picked 20s or he was picked in the 40s, it seemed like, every draft. Penix Jr. was the last guy, as far as the ADP, to not have gotten a 265 or an undrafted number. So after that, all these guys, at least in one draft, went undrafted. And Shipley, as you can see there, right in the middle of the yellow at 265, right below that Dylan Love, 265. Did not get drafted. Garendo several times did not get drafted. Walker many times did not get drafted. But it's pretty amazing that the ADP is so close between Shipley and Penix, and Shipley got a 265. So except for that one draft, if he would have got drafted somewhere in the 6th round or anything like that, Shipley would have been higher than Penix as far as an ADP. I'm just saying. But I do like to, again, take a look at the numbers and the monthly ADPs and see how they fluctuated and compare them over to the real ADP. And the reason that it shows a little bit more like on this, because some guys had multiple times in a month on this list where they weren't drafted. So those numbers can vary greatly. So again, let's go through this. Sanders, Penix, Shipley, Laub. And after that, it's a real crapshoot. Garendo, Walker, Rice is one guy who I did get a couple shares of. Ali, Theo Johnson, Malik Washington, Johnny Wilson, and Cowling. So that's your round 4. We can go into round 5 and kind of make this a little bit quicker. But we'll do that. And then I got to do what? Boom. Round 5, Frank Gore Jr., Stover, Wiley Rattler, Ali, Flournoy, who I read might be actually a cut by the end of preseason here. Davis, Reese Smith, Travis, Jordan, Watson, and Means. So as you can see, these guys mostly, on average, did not get drafted. So that's kind of that story. And let's get to the last one. So as you can see again, Bell, Ryman, and Whittingham. And then round 23, I put in 265. And then you can see on the bottom, I kept track of the teams or the league names. So that way I knew which leagues I input and which ones I didn't when I was following through on the monthly stages. So that's kind of the information as far as all that goes. I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. I hope you guys are using these videos. Once again, with these videos, you can always go back to the, use this for your redraft information, right? Because you can, there we go. Because you can see where these guys landed as far as picks, and you can take that and go on from that. So like for instance, okay, so if you're in a draft and this is what your ADP for guys are and you're in a redraft, if you want Ladd McConkey, if you see Caleb Williams go and Brian Thomas Jr. go, you better either make a trade or hope you have in the next 1 or 2 picks to be able to get Ladd McConkey, or else you run a risk of losing him even in a redraft. So that's kind of what I was looking at and how I want to basically to be able to apply it to other drafts and kind of help people out. So once again, I'm going to be doing one more video. You can check some of the past videos to see that information. It's all in here in the stats overall, but definitely check out some of the other videos. And also, I'd love to try and get this stuff live. I'm using OBS Studio, and I don't know if that can actually go and actually be able to do a podcast instead of a video. So, but that's what I'm looking at doing. As always, like, subscribe. Look for some updates. I'm hoping to make a few updates this year about some either of my teams or guys who I like. I kind of maybe I can do some shorts or something like that, and we'll go from there. So, but thank you. This is the overall August draft. It's the end of year. All the MFL drafts that I've been looking for or watching, they've all drafted. These are the final tallies and final results. So hopefully you guys can use all this information. Pause the video if you need to be able to see the information up on the screen, and use it as you will. Thank you very much. You have a great year. Good luck with your fantasy teams and bring home some ships, right? Championships. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.